My friend, understand this first truth. You are here because you were called. You did not arrive by accident. The moment your heart whispered its desire for more abundance, more love, more success, the universe began arranging the pathway to deliver this message to you. You are not lost. You are perfectly positioned for your breakthrough. Every moment you have spent seeking, yearning, and hoping has led you to this divine appointment. The fact that you have found this video is the evidence that the winning season of your life is upon you. This is your sign. You must now grasp the profound secret. Reality does not happen to you. It springs forth from you. Life mirrors your dominant assumptions. What you accept as true in your inner world becomes the form of your outer world. When you assume you are victorious, success must unfold. When you assume you are wealthy, wealth is drawn into your world. When you assume you are loved, love surrounds you like a radiant aura. The key is simple. Live from the end. Close your eyes and see yourself already in possession of everything your heart desires. Feel the joy, the freedom, the satisfaction, as if it were already yours. Do not wait for evidence. Your inner conviction is the only proof you need. When you walk in the state of already having, the seen world must rearrange itself to match your unseen reality. Your imagination is not idle fantasy. It is the creative force of your world. Every vivid image you hold, every scene you accept, becomes the seed that will blossom into your future. Imagine now that you have won everything and feel it as truth. The world cannot deny the persistent vision held with unwavering faith. Guard your inner speech. The words you speak to yourself are seeds you plant in the soil of consciousness. Speak of your triumph. Declare your abundance. Affirm your success. When your inner conversation is saturated with victory, no external circumstance can resist the command of your soul. And finally, surrender. Do not strive, do not struggle. Rest in the knowing that it is done. The unseen forces are now moving in perfect harmony to bring your desires to life. Your work is only to remain faithful to the vision and trust the unseen process. You have found this video because you are ready to win everything. Accept this truth. Walk boldly into your destiny. Your time is now. Thank you. You did not stumble upon this video by accident. Nothing in your life happens by coincidence. Every encounter, every experience, every piece of information that reaches you, all are summoned by the deeper currents of your own consciousness. You are not lost in a random universe. You are the orchestrator of your own destiny. The mere fact that you are hearing these words is proof that your inner self has guided you to this exact moment. Long before you arrived here, something within you stirred. A desire was born, perhaps quietly, perhaps with great urgency, but it was born. That desire did not go unnoticed. In the unseen realm, your every longing, your every silent wish, your every heart's cry is registered immediately. The moment you desired abundance, success, love, freedom, or peace, the universe began rearranging itself to answer you. Your inner world sent forth a vibration, and now life is responding to your call. This appearance of this message, right now, is not an external event separated from you. It is the external echo of your inner command. The outer world is but the reflection of the world within you. It shows you what you have assumed, believed, and expected on a deeper level. That is why you are here. Your higher consciousness led you here, because you are ready to receive, to awaken, to claim what is rightfully yours. You may have thought you were searching, but in truth, you were being drawn. Just as the seed naturally seeks the sunlight to fulfill its purpose of becoming a mighty tree, your consciousness has drawn this message to you to nourish your unfolding manifestation. This is not mere information, it is confirmation. You have crossed a threshold. Now recognize this. Everything in your life proceeds from your consciousness. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are their creator. Your thoughts, feelings, assumptions, and imaginal acts are the seeds from which your world grows. When you desired abundance, you planted the seed. And now, as you hear these words, the first sprouts are breaking through the surface. The universe responds only to that which you assume to be true. The stronger and more consistent your inner assumptions, the faster your world must conform to them. That is the immutable law of consciousness. This message appearing in your reality is not only evidence that your assumption has taken root, but also a divine reminder to stay faithful to your vision. You may not yet see the full manifestation, but do not be deceived by appearances. Just as a farmer trusts that the unseen seed beneath the soil is growing, even when nothing yet appears on the surface, so too must you trust the unseen forces now working on your behalf. Your desires are maturing, unfolding, moving toward full expression. In this moment, you are being invited to shift fully into alignment with your desire. Release doubt, release fear, release any lingering disbelief. Embrace the truth that you have called forth your own abundance. Accept that you are worthy of receiving it. Declare within yourself, I am ready to receive all that I have summoned. It is already mine. As you embody this certainty, your world will bend and shift to reflect it. People, opportunities, ideas, and resources will appear, seemingly out of nowhere. But you will know that they have been called forth by you. This is your divine appointment with your higher self, the part of you that knows no limitation, no lack, no struggle. It knows only fulfillment. It sees only completion. It lives in the state where your desires are already fulfilled. You are not waiting for your abundance. Your abundance is waiting for you to fully claim it. This message is the gentle nudge of your own consciousness, reminding you that the time has come. You have arrived. You are ready. The door is open. Step boldly into the reality you have already created within. Your divine appointment has begun. Your reality is not the result of chance, fate, or external forces beyond your control. Reality is simply a mirror, a faithful servant reflecting your most dominant state of being. Whatever you assume to be true, whether consciously or unconsciously, must eventually harden into fact. This is the law of assumption at work, operating without fail, without pause, and without exception. At every moment, you are assuming something about yourself, your life, and your world. These assumptions are not always spoken aloud, but they live within you as persistent inner convictions. They form the quiet background of your inner dialogue, the truths you hold about what is possible for you. And whatever you accept inwardly, life reflects outwardly. When you embody the feeling of winning everything, not hoping, not wishing, but assuming that your victory is certain, you activate this powerful law. Life, in turn, has no choice but to rearrange itself to mirror that inner certainty. You do not need to force circumstances or manipulate events. The assumption itself carries the creative power. Like a seed planted in fertile soil, your assumption contains within it the pattern of fulfillment. It is not enough to merely desire something. Desire is only the starting point, the spark that sets the journey in motion. The real transformation occurs when you move beyond desire into assumption. You must feel and know that what you desired is already yours. You must walk, think, and breathe as though you have already won. For in the unseen realm of consciousness, you have. This is where many falter, waiting for external evidence before allowing themselves to believe. But the law works in reverse. Belief must precede the evidence. The world cannot show you what you refuse to accept within. Only when you fully embody the state of already having your desire will the world reflect that truth back to you. Understand this deeply. Assumption is not mere positive thinking or blind optimism. It is a knowing, a quiet, unshakable conviction that overrides all opposing appearances. You may see obstacles, delays, or contradictions in the physical world, but these are nothing more than echoes of past assumptions. They hold no power over your present state unless you give them your attention and belief. The moment you adopt the assumption that you have already won, reality begins shifting. Doors open, opportunities arise, people appear, and circumstances align, not by accident but by law. What you hold as true inwardly must manifest outwardly, for the outer world is compelled to obey the blueprint you carry within. This is why it is written, "To him that hath, more shall be given." When you assume you have already received, you enter the state of having. From that state, life continuously multiplies your blessings, drawing more and more into your experience, effortlessly and naturally. Even in moments of doubt or discouragement, return to your assumption. Quiet yourself, close your eyes, and feel the reality of your desire fulfilled. Imagine the joy, the satisfaction, the gratitude as though you are living it now. Let this feeling saturate your being. As you persist in this inner state, the world will catch up. Remember, reality does not argue with you. It does not resist you. It simply reflects you. If you assume defeat, you will experience defeat. If you assume victory, you will experience victory. The choice is always yours. You are not a passive observer in your life. You are the operant power. The law of assumption waits for your command. Use it deliberately. Claim your victory now. Say within yourself, "It is done. I have won. I have received everything I desire." And so it shall be. The unseen forces have already begun to move. Life is aligning with your conviction. Keep assuming your victory and watch as reality bends to mirror your inner certainty. You are winning now because you have chosen to assume that you are. The great secret of manifestation lies not in waiting nor in hoping, but in assuming that which you desire is already yours. This is the art of living from the end, the master key to unlocking every blessing your heart seeks. You must understand that the external world is not the cause of your experience. It is only the reflection. To wait for evidence before you believe is to surrender your creative power. The moment you defer your belief to circumstances, you become a servant to the world rather than its master. But when you choose to live from the end, to feel as though your desire has already manifested, you reverse the order. You become the cause, and reality becomes the obedient servant. To live from the end means you embody the state of the wish fulfilled right now. You think from the place of already having. You speak from the place of already receiving. You move, breathe, and exist as though the outcome is settled, finished, complete. You no longer ask, "Will it happen?" You declare, "It has happened." Do not confuse this with arrogance or delusion. It is the most natural act of faith. Just as you would not worry whether the sun will rise tomorrow, so too must you hold your desire as a settled fact. Your imagination creates the blueprint, your assumption solidifies it, and reality obeys. Every desire you hold already exists in the unseen. There is no distance between you and what you want, except the distance created by your own doubts and hesitations. The moment you claim it as done within, you collapse that distance. You merge with the version of yourself who already possesses what you seek. Consider a master sculptor standing before a block of marble. The completed statue already exists within his mind. Though his physical eyes see only raw stone, his inner vision sees the finished masterpiece. He does not hope the statue will appear. He knows it exists. His only task is to remove what does not belong. So it is with you. The life you desire already exists in the realm of imagination. Your job is not to create it, but to assume its existence and strip away every thought that denies it. Living from the end requires emotional involvement. It is not a cold intellectual exercise, but a passionate immersion into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Ask yourself, how would I feel if it were already mine? How would I think, speak, and act if this were my reality right now? Then dwell in that state as often as possible. Make it your dwelling place, your home. There will be moments when appearances seem to contradict your assumption. Do not waver. The outer world often lags behind the inner shift. What you see around you now is merely the residue of former beliefs and states. Pay them no attention. Persist in your end. The new reality is forming beneath the surface, awaiting its perfect moment to break forth. Remember, the world is plastic to your thoughts. Every scene you imagine with feeling is planting seeds in the field of life. The harvest is inevitable for the one who lives from the end without doubting the process. You are not called to struggle or force outcomes. You are called to dwell in the state of completion. The greater your acceptance of this truth, the faster your desire will materialize. Life must conform to your inner certainty, for consciousness is the only creative power. Right now, decide that you are already victorious. See yourself as the one who has succeeded. Walk with confidence, speak with authority, and feel the satisfaction of desires fulfilled. Let this inner state become more real to you than the world of appearances. As you sustain this inner knowing, reality will reshape itself to reflect the image you hold. The world has no choice but to obey the one who lives from the end. You have declared it done, and so it is. The greatest secret hidden in plain sight is this: your imagination is not mere fantasy, it is not idle daydreaming or creative play. Your imagination is the very creative force of life itself. What you vividly imagine, what you emotionally feel, and what you mentally accept as true becomes the blueprint that shapes your world. All that exists in your reality today was once imagined. Every invention, every building, every relationship, every circumstance, all were first conceived in the invisible realm of thought before they appeared in form. The outer world is nothing but the visible echo of the invisible pictures you carry within. Therefore, to change your world, you must first change the images you consistently entertain in your imagination. The creative power within you does not respond to idle wishes or weak hopes. It responds to vivid, consistent, emotionally charged mental pictures. When you imagine with feeling, you impress your subconscious mind, which in turn faithfully produces the circumstances to match the inner image. This is the law of life. What you imagine, you become. Do not wait for the outer world to give you permission to believe. Do not postpone your joy until the evidence appears. You must first see it within to see it without. The unseen must be believed as real before the seen can reflect it back to you. You are always creating, whether you realize it or not. The only question is, are you imagining consciously or unconsciously? Imagination allows you to select your future. If you desire wealth, imagine yourself already possessing it. See the lifestyle, feel the freedom, hear the conversations you would have if your wealth were a present fact. If you desire love, imagine the warmth, the companionship, the joy of being with your ideal partner. If you desire health, imagine the vitality, the strength, the energy surging through your body. Whatever you want, create a living scene that captures the reality of your wish, fulfilled. As you consistently dwell in these imaginal acts, your subconscious mind accepts them as truth. The subconscious does not differentiate between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It accepts as fact whatever you repeatedly present to it with feeling and conviction. Once accepted, it orchestrates people, events, and circumstances to bring your inner vision into physical form. You may ask, how can such simple imaginal acts bring forth great changes? Because consciousness is the only reality. The outer world is malleable, responding instantly and obediently to the dominant impressions upon your mind. The world must reflect your inner state, for it has no power of its own apart from the life you give it through your consciousness. Even when appearances seem unchanged, persist in your imaginal work. Do not be discouraged by delays or contrary evidence. What you see now is only the outpicturing of previous states of consciousness. Your new imaginal acts are already taking root beneath the surface, preparing to emerge at their appointed time. Persistence is the secret. Continue to return again and again to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You are the artist painting upon the canvas of reality. Every thought is a brush stroke. Every feeling adds color. Every imaginal act shapes the form. Do not hand this creative brush to circumstances, fears, or doubts. Hold it firmly in your own hand and paint only the life you desire. And above all, trust the process. Imagination never fails when persistently applied with faith and feeling. The world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match the inner blueprint you have provided. What you assume and imagine as true today will solidify into your lived experience tomorrow. So, imagine boldly, imagine vividly, imagine joyfully. Let your inner world overflow with the scenes of your fulfilled desires. See yourself already living the life you choose, and reality will joyfully obey. It is already done. The conversations you hold within yourself are not meaningless chatter. They are the seeds from which your entire reality grows. What you say to yourself, silently or aloud, determines the course of your life. Your inner speech is the constant dialogue that shapes your assumptions, reinforces your beliefs, and silently commands the world to obey your self-concept. You may not always be aware of it, but you are always speaking to yourself. Every moment you are declaring something about who you are, what you deserve, and what is possible for you. These inner declarations form the atmosphere of your consciousness, and from that atmosphere, all things take shape. When you say within, "I always struggle," or "nothing ever works for me," you are not merely venting frustrations. You are issuing instructions to your subconscious mind. And because your subconscious mind is faithful and obedient, it will find ways to confirm those words, arranging people, events, and circumstances to mirror them back to you. But the same law that brings defeat when used carelessly can bring victory when used wisely. If you choose instead to speak words of triumph, "I am successful, everything works out for me, my desires flow to me effortlessly," you set into motion the creative power that makes these statements your living reality. Your inner speech carries creative authority because it springs from your self-concept. You do not attract what you want, you attract who you are being inside. And who you are being is expressed moment by moment through the words you silently repeat within yourself. The world listens to your inner conversations more than your outer words. You may speak words of hope outwardly while harboring words of fear inwardly, but only the inner voice carries creative power. What you repeatedly affirm to yourself with conviction shapes your destiny. Therefore, become the master of your inner speech. Do not allow your mind to wander into worry, doubt, or self-pity. Guard your inner dialogue as you would guard the most precious treasure. Each word you speak within yourself is a decree that summons experiences into your world. Begin today to speak words that align with your desires. If you seek abundance, let your inner speech overflow with declarations of wealth. "I am prosperous. Money flows to me from seen and unseen sources." If you desire love, affirm within, I am deeply loved and cherished. My relationships are harmonious and fulfilling. If you seek health, declare, every cell in my body radiates perfect health and vitality. It is not enough to speak these words once or twice. Your inner speech must become habitual, natural, and automatic. Repetition saturates the subconscious mind, and once it accepts these new beliefs as true, the world must reflect them. In moments of doubt, return immediately to your chosen inner speech. When fears attempt to rise, answer them with your declarations of faith. Your inner voice is your most powerful tool. Use it deliberately and persistently. Even when no change appears outwardly, persist in your inner declarations. Reality often takes time to reorganize itself around your new state of being. The delay is not denial, it is preparation. As you continue to speak triumphantly within, the invisible wheels of creation are turning, orchestrating your desired outcome. Your world is simply the visible echo of your inner conversations. Speak as one who already possesses all that you desire. Claim it boldly within, and life will fulfill your command. You are never at the mercy of circumstances when you control your inner speech. With every word, you are scripting the story of your life. Write it well. Speak only that which you wish to experience. Declare now within yourself, I am victorious. All that I desire is already mine, and so it shall be. There is a sacred moment in the process of creation when effort must give way to trust. This is the moment of surrender. Not surrender as defeat, but surrender as supreme confidence. It is the release of striving, the quiet letting go of struggle, and the restful knowing that your desire is already complete. The world often teaches that effort alone produces results. Strive harder, push more, force outcomes. But in the higher laws of consciousness, it is not struggle that brings fulfillment, but surrender. The creative process unfolds most effortlessly when you release the need to control every detail and rest in the assurance that what you have imagined is already being arranged for you. The moment you set your intention, the unseen forces of reality begin their work. Invisible currents move, people are drawn, circumstances shift, opportunities unfold, all in response to your inner state. You are not required to manage how these things occur. You are only required to hold fast to the end result in your mind. Surrender does not mean doing nothing in the physical sense. It means releasing the inner anxiety, the fear, the doubt, and the obsession over timing and process. You are not the architect of every circumstance. You are the visionary who holds the completed picture. The how belongs to the unseen intelligence that governs creation. Your role is to remain faithful to your vision, knowing that every necessary detail is being handled with perfect wisdom. Consider the farmer who plants a seed. Once the seed is in the soil, he does not pry it open, force its growth, or worry about its development. He trusts the natural process of life to bring forth the harvest at the appointed time. So too must you trust the natural process of consciousness to manifest your desires. The seed of your assumption has already been planted. Your only task is to water it daily with faith and expectancy. Striving often emerges from a belief that you must make it happen. But when you understand that your assumption is creative law, striving becomes unnecessary. The work is already done in the invisible realm the moment you accept your desire as fulfilled. The outer world is simply catching up to your inner conviction. Resting in this knowing creates a calm, magnetic state that draws your desire to you without strain. When you are anxious or desperate, you send mixed signals to the creative power, indicating that you do not yet believe. But when you surrender completely, you emit the vibration of certainty, and certainty is irresistible to creation. Surrender allows the infinite wisdom of life to orchestrate outcomes far beyond your limited perspective. You do not need to know how the opportunity will arrive, who will open the door, or what path will unfold. Trust that the perfect way is being prepared, often in ways you could not have imagined. Even apparent delays and detours are part of this orchestration. They are not signs of failure, but adjustments, ensuring that your manifestation arrives in its highest form. When you surrender, you allow the process to unfold with divine precision. Whenever doubts arise, return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Remind yourself gently, it is already done. I need not worry. Everything is working for me now. Speak these words not as hope but as fact. This quiet confidence keeps you aligned with your desire while the unseen forces continue their work. Your effortless manifestation is not about passivity, but about alignment. You align your thoughts, feelings, and inner conversations with the end you have chosen. From that place of alignment, action may naturally arise. Inspired action that flows easily, without strain, because it is guided by the same unseen intelligence. In surrender, you reclaim your power, you release the heavy burden of control, and trust the power that responds perfectly to your inner state. Your faith becomes your greatest action, your rest becomes your strongest movement, your quiet knowing becomes your loudest declaration. Declare now within yourself, I surrender completely. It is done. My desire is already mine. And so it unfolds. And so you now stand at the threshold of your own creation. You have heard the truth of your power. Your imagination shapes reality. Your assumptions create the world you experience. Your inner speech guides the unfolding of your life. And your surrender allows the unseen forces to orchestrate all things in perfect harmony. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are the operant power, the master of your destiny. The moment you accept this fully, not as theory, but as living truth, your entire world must respond. Every desire you hold is already fulfilled in the unseen. Your task is simply to live from that fulfillment now. Persist in your inner vision. Speak boldly within yourself. Rest in the calm, knowing that it is done. Life has no choice but to reflect your inner certainty. Remember always, you did not find this message by accident. You were led here by the deep currents of your own consciousness. This is your divine appointment. The seed has been planted, the harvest is assured. Thank you for sharing this sacred space and allowing these words to speak directly to your higher self. May you walk forward in full confidence, knowing that your every desire is already accomplished, it is done. Would you like me to now combine everything into your full master speech script, ready for your video?